terrible.
Yeah.
They're hitting the bottom. You're going to see a long streak.
No, the last year with Schottenheimer, I thought that they opened a 5-year championship window.
Yeah.
And when he left and they got Turner, I was like, wow, they just shut the window and the curtain and hit underneath the bed.
Yeah. San Diego Chargers are the Oakland Raiders of the future.
They are, because the Oakland Raiders are where they are now because Norv Turner was their head coach before they started losing all of these football games.
That's right. Weird how that works.
That is just amazing.
Like I said, there's head coaches in the football league, and then there's coordinator coaches.
Yeah.
And it's kind of hard to see until you actually see them in that position, who's going to be successful, who can manage a football team versus who knows a good offense.
Right.
It's not the same thing to be able to score a lot of points or to be able to call good plays as to manage a team. It is, and I think this is fair warning for the NFL. You can't just pick whoever and put them in there. It really does matter.
And lose whoever at the same time.
Yeah, and lose whoever, like Schottenheimer.
Exactly, and by the same token, with the head coach, you need more than a schemer, you need a motivator, and Norv Turner couldn't get me off the couch with a handgun.
No. You look at the guy, and the entire time he just sits there like motionless. There was nothing happening inside the world of Norv Turner whenever he's coaching a football game. He can't be shocked. He can't be disappointed. Blank stare.
And let's talk about play calling. How does LaDainian Tomlinson go from being the best running back in the league to suddenly, the ball is completely taken out of his hands? I mean, yes, we can talk injury, but
they run him in terrible situations and sparingly.
Right.
It's throw it Phillip football, and that Phillip Rivers just went over 3,000 yards, which that's his best season so far. But they're 4-8 or 5-8 now.
5-8.
They won last night.
Yeah.
That's pretty exciting. Quickly, the Raiders. Wow.
Do we need to?
Yeah, we have to. Because the whole thing was that, Al Davis is up there phoning in deep balls, and last night, fourth quarter, no deep balls.
No deep balls.
You needed a deep ball.
maybe he was asleep.
I like
He
the
left.
shots of the Raiders bench, showing the people that are on that team, and they're talking about Friday poker night instead of talking about football. That's not a team. Those people aren't there to play football. They are there to, I don't know what, play fiddlesticks.
So what's the solution then?
Actually, the only thing I could see that would even work in a remotely timely fashion would be to tell Rob Ryan it's yours and then actually give it to him. Because even that end of the game, the defense, those guys were still fired up. They were hitting hard, they were playing well, and that defense always plays well. They got screwed up pretty good in the first half of that game, but those guys are a good defense, and he's the reason.
Well, they're a good team. I mean, that's the thing that baffles me about the Raiders. They'll go 1 week and just beat the snot out of a team like the Broncos, who, I mean, yeah, you can say what you want about Denver and their consistency. I mean, but they have the players to do it. It's just, like you say, it's like the attitude isn't there.
Yeah, that's the Raiders will punch you in the mouth, and Rob Ryan's a punch you in the mouth kind of a coach.
I'm going to disagree with both of you guys. I don't see a single person on that team that's worth their darn. They liquidate them. Get rid of every single person on there. That's an embarrassment to football, more so than the Detroit Lions. I don't like a single person on the
Burgess and Howard are two fine linebackers. Asamoah is a great corner.
I've never seen anything done. I've never seen.
People don't even throw the ball at Asamoah.
You still can't build a defense around one person. You can't stop a team based around 3 guys. You have to work more as a team when you drop back into a zone. You know, it's all single man, hooray for me type football, and I just don't like it.
The issue to me with a lot of teams, I think, is in the trenches more so.
Yeah.
You look at skill position, man for man, the Raiders can play with anybody, but they don't. And then you turn around and have a team like New York Giants, for example. And, I mean, Eli Manning is an okay quarterback who's suddenly playing, out of this world. But, Plexico Burress is gone half the season, and it doesn't faze him.
It doesn't matter.
Because those are, like you say, those are things you can carry with you. I mean, a good offensive line doesn't have a day off,
Exactly.
A good defensive line doesn't have a day off. That's something you can bring with you wherever you go.
Speaking of offensive, defensive line, You've got the hotline on Pat and Kevin Williams. What's going on with that?
No, boy, the president called me. What are you talking
President
about?
called
the
you.
hotline?
I didn't hear about it in the news
I
today,
looked
and
it
you
up
did.
on the internet.
There you go.
They apparently, as of today, a federal judge has came out and said that the NFL cannot ban the Williams boys, Deuce McAllister, Will Smith, and that one other guy.
DJ Jazzy Jeff?
Yeah, yeah, of course. they're still good.
Yeah.
Going to see a reunion tour, but anyways, they can't do it because of it's not the Right to Work Act, but it's essentially an employer can't prevent an employee from doing his job if there's no illegal substances, or if they can't prove an illegal intention. If it's like, hey, I was taking the stuff for weight loss, you can't stop somebody from doing their job. It's illegal. So the judge has to consider whether they were actually taking it for weight loss or if they were using it as a cover-up. But it's still, there is no ban as of this second.
Okay. Josh, how do you feel about the federal government stepping into the NFL?
I think the federal government has much more important issues to worry about than. I love this because we see, like, baseball, every senator wants to get his paws in that, or football, oh, I'm going to jump in here and save these players. Let's work on our economy. Let's work on our national security. Let's work on the 2 wars we're fighting. And let the NFL, which is probably one of the best governed bodies in the world, football or otherwise, kind of fix things for itself. I think they can do the job.
Yeah.
That's just my take.
That's where I would say the same thing. And yes, it wasn't listed on the back of the bottle, the ingredient that was illegal. They were using it for weight loss. But at the same time, there were a bunch of guys that had weight stipends on their contracts. They ate too many hamburgers, and they were dumping water weight as fast as they could so they didn't get a pay cut. Suspend them for 4 games. I mean, why not?
I don't know. The NFL is still an American corporation. They have to play by the same rules as the rest of us do. You can't put the NFL and its players in a separate class, which is what I don't like about, somebody doing something stupid off the field and then the team suspended for it. Hey, if you're not working, you're not working. If you're working, that's where you get in trouble at. But, they're no different than you or I, except for they're fantastic at football.
And they make a lot more
And they
money.
make a ton more money. But they're still people and they're still Americans.
That's true.
Some of them.
Some of them.
Most of the kickers are not.
Okay.
There's a lot of Martin Gramatica.
Yeah.
I mean, that said, when you're a public figure, though, your job description is a little bit different. NFL player is not like Joe the plumber that we hear about so much these days. An NFL player is in the spotlight, and in some ways he actually reflects the country, and in some ways he reflects the entire league and the team a lot more so than I might reflect my job. If I do something, if I'm working at Best Buy, and I do something inflammatory that makes Best Buy look bad, they're going to fire me too, not just suspend me. And so I don't think it's a bad thing if you have like a certain player code or standard that these guys are supposed to follow.
Yeah.
If you violate that, I mean, you signed up for this. You know what I mean? You signed up to be a pro football player.
I'm agreeing with him that in the Best Buy thing, you have a bunch of boxes. Most of them say, don't touch the box. Someone told you, don't touch any of the boxes. A couple of them, it's not labeled. Just get over there and start rubbing on the boxes.
Rubbing on those boxes and having a good time.
Yeah, no, you're out of here. Or at least, the Best Buy guy tells you to go home for the day because you were rubbing on the boxes.
Right.
So.
I wouldn't be rubbing on the boxes.
No.
Let that be a lesson. Don't rub on boxes.
Okay, this has gone far enough. Dolphins at Bills. Here it comes.
Oh,
Get ready. Will Edwards move the Bills forward, or will Pennington win again?
That's too bad because Edwards isn't starting. Lossman is.
Oh, that's
once
true.
again,
Son of a gun. Well, at least I didn't start him in my fantasy pick.
No. But you know what?
I thought Edwards was going to get the start.
No, he's still down. But Lossman, he is a sad situation there because he should be better than he is, and he's stinking on ice right now.
They're not letting him. Yeah, I think that Dick Duran has told him the next time that you go deep, when I call a draw, I am going to throw you physically into the bus.
That's what that play looks like. Is there's not anybody down the field where he's throwing. I mean, he's throwing like 30 yards deep, past the receiver, and it's like, GP, what the heck are you playing?
It's just not football. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You have to. I've never understood. Maybe in the West Coast offense, you can have this like run and gun attitude and just kind of like chuck it up there. But I mean, any other team philosophy, it's run first. Establish something. The game hasn't changed as much as I think we'd like to think it is. The same teams are good now that used to be good back in the day, and this idea, we'll just throw it up there. On the Bills, though, I really feel honestly that there's like some bad karma in the water with them. It's almost like the Chicago Cubs in baseball. Like, you just always hope they're always on the brink of being that team. Like, this is going to be the year that Berman's prediction is actually going to come true. But they let you down every time.
They don't execute.
When Levy took over as the GM, I thought it was headed in the right direction. Then they hired Geron, and I was like, this is really what they need. No, all of a sudden, Geron just starts undermining everything that Levy had done in the draft, and with his choices in free agency from the get-go, just telling him, this is my team, old man, get out of the way. So Levy quits. And after that, anybody that Levy has drafted has been splitting time. Marshawn Lynch was the last pick that Levy had anything to do with, and that's a short yardage guy if I've ever seen one.
Yeah.
And they put in that Jackson fella for short yardage. Who is he? Just give Marshawn Lynch the ball 25 times a game, run everybody over. And honestly, the last time they finished strong was when they went that last 8 games. Lossman had finally won the job over Kelly Holcomb and went on a 2,500-yard tear in 8 games. That was going to be a good football team.
Right.
Then Geron comes in there, and apparently I thought Geron was a great coach because of what he did at the Bears, but the Bills are collapsing right now. They look like the Lions last year.
Yeah, Dolphins win.
Yeah, the
I would
Dolphins
say
are going to
so.
win.
They're a team I think that's moving in the right direction. If you want to talk about a team that's moving in the right direction,
Oh, absolutely.
At this point in the season, though, they are moving in the right direction. Absolutely. The Dolphins, I think, are a really strong team. Bill Parcells has had a lot to do with that, I think. But
Everything to do with it. He hired as many free agents as he could for 2 years. They're going to have the capless 2010. Anybody they want to keep will get an exorbitant amount of money that year. And then the other guys are gone. The draft picks start working their way in. The Dolphins are a good football team.
are they going to make it to the playoffs this year?
I don't think so.
No, I don't either.
I don't know.
I think it's possible.
I think it's too late.
They're just.
I don't know if it is because the Patriots don't have a very
It's a funny
forgiving
year.
schedule.
It's just a funny year. I don't know.
Actually,
I'd
neither
like to
one of them
think,
are going to make
yeah.
it. Neither one of them are going to make it. The Jets are going to, and I can't believe it's coming out of my mouth, the Jets are going to the playoffs.
Yeah, sorry about early in the year with our bad predictions. Yeah, they're definitely going to
The
the playoffs.
Jets are going to the playoffs, and then I don't see the Ravens not getting a wild card, and I don't see the Colts not getting a wild card.
No.
I think the AFC is pretty much set in stone.
Yeah, it's looking that way.
Especially the Ravens. Was a little. It's around here somewhere on my notes. I can't remember what exactly it was. Oh yes, the net points. The Ravens have over 100 net points. They're fourth in the NFL in net points. That's
That
a
is surprising.
really good statistic. That's
For-
like your
for
plus
the
minus.
Ravens, yeah.
Their plus minus is like 10 too. They're
Yeah.
playing good football.
Yeah, they
Rookie
actually are.
quarterback and all.
Yeah, no, I think that Baltimore, for as weak as they looked at
Rookie
the beginning
coach.
of the season, rookie coach, they're an under-discussed team.
Yeah.
Everybody's talking about the Dolphins. Everybody's talking about Atlanta as the big surprise. I'm shocked by Baltimore. I'm really impressed by those guys.
I'm not shocked by their defense, but just a rookie stepping in and doing something that how many people couldn't do?
Yeah, exactly.
Nobody could play quarterback for that team since they've been a franchise. They haven't had anybody, and they've got this guy with a baby face. Sure, he is 6'7" or something, and he runs a
Rocket
4.6,
Yeah.
which is really fast for a guy who's 6'7",
Yeah.
and throws it a mile. So those are things that help.
That's the difference. Is nobody's ever surprised by their defense. I'm surprised by their fact that they can win games.
Oh, did you see that Mark Clayton catch that Joe Flacco threw? And he just flipped it,
Yeah.
50 yards down the
It
field,
looked
and
like
Clayton
nothing.
just snapped it with one hand and waved goodbye. to the defender and went into the end
Nice.
zone.
That was real nice.
But on the note of the defense, I'd say for like picking up a quarterback like that, I couldn't think of a better place
Oh yeah,
for a quarterback,
It was,
a rookie, a really talented rookie. And I think they should have been looking to draft someone like that with that defense a long time ago.
Yeah.
Because that's the
they
ideal
did.
place.
Kyle Bowler was
So, well,
Aaron
Know.
Rodgers was the next quarterback after Kyle Bowler at Cal. Kyle Bowler looked the part in college, just wasn't there.
It wasn't a performance.
but yeah,
He didn't get to sit. He didn't get the luxury of sitting
If-
behind Brett
if-
Favre for
Yeah.
years either.
Absolutely right.
So
if Trent Dilfer can win a Super Bowl with the Baltimore Ravens, I'd feel pretty comfortable playing quarterback
yeah,
in that
I
situation.
thought that they would have been successful if Troy Smith wouldn't have got hurt. Even though he's a short guy, I thought he was a pretty decent
Yeah,
quarterback.
yeah.
Well, just anybody who doesn't throw interceptions and can maintain a game can win with that
and
team.
it doesn't throw interceptions and can do better than 25% third down like
Yeah.
these other guys were doing. That's just terrible. That was what Trent Dilfer did. Is he'd give you a third down every once in a while. He would give you a third down.
Well, you don't need to score every drive. That's
Yeah,
the
exactly.
thing. Just move the ball.
Yep, convert. Speaking of the Ravens,
Ravens and the Redskins, I don't have any rhymes for this.
Oh,
I couldn't
man.
come up with anything
You had
that
to go,
wasn't
you're just too scared.
just, oh, you want me to say that on
I
TV?
don't
Because
know
I
if you
don't
should
think
say
that
it
would be
on
a good
TV.
idea.
It's probably
All
not
right.
kosher. Those people had it rough.
The Ravens were, yeah, their team swiped out from underneath them by the Indianapolis is now the Colts. I thought you were talking about the Ravens.
No, I was
fans.
talking about
I
the
know what you're
Redskins.
talking about.
Yeah, okay, fine.
I'm trying to get away from it.
Yeah, hey, okay. Redskins, Ravens.
Yeah, Redskins, Ravens.
What you got?
Well, I'm hosting. It's your turn to answer the question.
Okay, fine. I thought I'd give you an opportunity to start out. I think that the Ravens, they, like we just said, they look good. The Redskins are on a slide big time. Clinton Portis is down, but not out per se. He has a neck injury, which is his second neck injury. He's got a bad ankle and 2 bruised ribs, I think.
Yeah, I think it's something like that. He's
It's
not looking good. We'll just say
things aren't
that.
looking good for Porto.
Probably not going to see him this week.
They can run the ball without him. Liddell Betts and Rock Cartwright are capable, especially in
They
that
better.
1-2 punch that they can
Betts
give you.
I don't know about the
Well,
Cartwright kid.
no, that's the thing, is that Cartwright's the speed guy and Betts is the power guy, and you can kind of punch people with the speed and the power versus having a Clinton Portis that'll give you speed and power and still run the ball effectively enough.
You can
and
do that
fall
against-
Against
on-
that defense, man.
You can
That's
do that
a
against
lot.
that defense if you're the Giants,
Yeah.
and that's about it.
Yeah.
that's
Because
absolutely-
they're
Well, they got 2 speed guys and the most powerful guy I've seen since Christian Okoye.
I gotta agree with you on this because the Redskins again they have some of that Bill karma. It's just like you'll start out really good, and right about this time of year we start to it's like, oh my gosh, again. They're just like always the mediocre team.
Yeah.
And I don't know what it is about that
and
franchise.
it should
but-
be a fantastic team. That's a team with talent, real raw
Oh, yes.
talent.
Yeah.
good
they
coach.
Well, it's going to take some time to put it together.
5 years?
This is really kind of year 2 as far as what they've been doing and how they're trying
Yeah,
to do it,
I would
especially
say so,
with
too.
the West Coast offense portion of it, because they tried it with Al Saunders last year. This is the first year of this offense, and I expect to see Colt Brennan at the helm of this offense probably next year. Campbell is a decent and adequate quarterback. He's got a good rating, but yikes. It is preseason. It's preseason, but Colt Brennan had the second highest rating and 3rd most touchdowns in the preseason.
That's right.
I'll
That's-
believe it when I see it with Colt. I don't know.
That's the system that he came up in. It was
That's
a
true.
run and shoot, but the West Coast and the run and shoot, there's a lot of
as long as they're not
similarities.
asking him to throw.
And he can throw it down the field. He can do it.
He can.
He threw it
but,
down the
uh,
field against us
I won't argue with
a
you
few
about
times,
Colt.
and I didn't like
Did
it.
beat the heck out of the Broncos, that Colt
I
Brennan.
hate him, but
It made
he's
Hawaii
good
look a
quarterback.
lot better than they were.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
that's absolutely true. That's absolutely true. Speaking of Hawaii, and I know this is kind of a segue, but who I'm impressed with in the NFL that nobody's talking about is Devon Betts. I think
I
he's a good
wasn't-
receiver. You're going to see big things out of that.
Oh yeah, no, he's there was no question for me when he was a freshman and he came here. I was hearing chatter over the headset during one of the football games, and they were like, "Oh yeah, this is their freshman. He's got a 62-inch vertical leap. He runs a
bad.
He can jump
4.2.
over
He
a
runs a
plane.
4.25. I was like, oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, athleticism travels well.
It does.
Yeah, no.
You don't have
he's
to be
got
the best
glue
technical.
Yeah,
hands.
glue
Yeah.
hands.
That's the other thing is it's like your Larry Fitzgerald or Andre Johnson. Every time you see him catching it, it's always hands out here. Even when the ball's hitting him in the body, he's got his hands in front of his body catching the ball.
Right.
He's a good receiver.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. Anyway, sorry for the segue.
I'm
Proceed.
going to segue again to Hawaii.
Okay.
They really need to beat Cincinnati on Saturday.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
They need to do
That'd be
it.
Cool. Go Hawaii,
Go Hawaii.
please Hawaii.
Yeah, until after that
The
game.
WAC
if they
needs some
win, then
respect.
Oh man.
No, if they beat Cincinnati, then all of a sudden the Orange Bowl's got 3 lost teams in it. That just doesn't even make sense.
Go Bronx.
Go Broncos. Bucks and Panthers. I do have one for this.
Hooray!
In a battle for the division, who will use their touchdown vision?
Boo!
What do you mean?
How about
no?
that
was awesome.
Tampa Bay Bucks defense?
Yeah, the defense is very.
I haven't
formidable.
seen this good of a Tampa Bay season since the year they won the Super Bowl, or like defensive season. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
they seem to be clicking on all cylinders. You know, it's classic Chucky football. You know, just mean. And I think that's the way they were meant to play. You know, like
Oh yeah.
just a defense first team that causes a lot of turnovers and creates all kinds of havoc, and is really fun to watch.
But they're playing themselves. That's the thing, is that's how the Carolina Panthers play football. They play
That's
good
true.
defense. They don't have to score a lot of points to win, but they can score a lot of points if they need to. And the thing I was saying about the Ravens, 4th in net points, 3rd in net points is the Panthers, and 5th is the Bucks.
That's what I was thinking. It's got to be
5th
close
is
in
the
there.
Bucks. They're all
yeah.
right there. I mean, these guys are like neck and neck, same record, just right there in every statistical category.
They're
This is going
very
to be
similar looking teams.
a good game.
Yeah.
I call the Bucks for one reason. They've won 4 straight. They're hot.
Where's it at? It's at Carolina.
It's at Carolina.
Ooh.
That's a tough one.
Yeah,
That's
I don't know.
Carolina. Yeah,
Carolina is
doesn't
just
play
a
very well on the
surprising
road.
team this year, though. They
I'm never
surprised me
surprised
every
by
game.
them.
Like, well, I guess going in, I didn't realize how good of a team they were, and then it's like, oh, they win one game, it's a fluke game. They win another. They're really a poised team.
Yeah.
They are.
They come through when it matters, and they have the it factor to win games. It's like your Colts this year. Just they can play awful the whole game, and then right at the end somehow they're still in it and they come out on top.
That's the difference, is that Carolina isn't making the mistakes that they've always made in the past.
They
made
haven't
bad
always made
mistakes.
those mistakes. They went to the Super Bowl. They had a remarkable season. They had a decent season after that. Then they had injuries for 3 years, and they haven't had those injuries.
Yeah, but I've seen them lose crucial playoff type games where it's like, hey, we have got to win this game on either Jake Delhomme's arm or a big fumble or something. Just a mistake.
Yeah, that's the
It's
thing.
tripping over the finish line.
That's the problem, though, is that they're built to not have to rely on Jake Delhomme's arm.
Right.
I like Jake Delhomme. I think he's a solid quarterback, and I think he's a nice guy. But he's not the quarterback I want to go out and win me a football game. He is the guy I want to, and I hate to use the term, manage the game.
Doesn't lose the football
He doesn't
game.
lose the football game, and he will not just manage the game, he manages the offense. He's not going to blow up. He will get that offense to score as many points as it needs. It's like he, goes to work with his lunchbox and gets everything filed away. He's very, organized, just hard worker, smart guy, does it, but he's not the guy you want. Okay, we got to score 4 touchdowns in the 4th quarter. Jake, get out there and do it. No,
Yeah.
you're going to want your Peyton Manning at that point.
That said, though, he has been very clutch this year.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
And
No,
that's
they're playing
the
good.
surprising
good.
thing about Delhomme and the Panthers to me. They've always had the guys, the Steve Smith or whoever, who could just make that stellar play, and that's all you see in the game.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, one cool highlight reel and that's it. But I mean, they're figuring out. They found a way to win. I mean, it's such a cliche, but there is that it factor.
That's what it takes to get there.
Do you know?
Yeah.
You know?
Here's the one statistic that would lean heavily towards the Panthers in almost any game that they play. 3rd in the NFL in touchdowns scored.
Yes. Yeah.
That is a big
They
statistic.
put up a lot of points.
Yeah, the Bucks are 5th in the league in touchdowns scored, though.
The game's really simple. I mean, if you score a lot of points and the other team doesn't, then I mean at the end of the day, that's the only statistic that
That's how you win
matters.
football
That's a
games.
John Betting.
You get over here, you gotta put the ball in the end zone.
Well, I mean, but it's
Turkey
really that
afterwards.
simple, you know.
Yeah.
Just ask Terrell Owens about winning, you know.
Yeah.
Well, you ask him about it. You give me the ball and I make things happen. Oh, you gave the ball 18 times and nothing happened,
Drop
buddy.
it every time.
Yeah.
Anyhow,
Get rid of it. Anyways.
Panthers, one thing, D'Angelo Williams. This guy was supposed to be a draft bust. Yikes,
Yeah.
he's everywhere. 13 touchdowns. Has not fumbled the ball once this season.
Yeah, it's really surprising. You know, I thought that we were going to see a big year out of Jonathan Stewart.
I drafted him in my
Jonathan
fantasy
Stewart,
league.
who?
Exactly.
Angelo Williams is it.
well,
Yeah,
you
that
just
guy's
never know.
ridiculous.
Yeah,
But if he gets injured again, it's all over, and they got Stewart now. So
right. It's a tough team.
It is a
don't
tough
hurt
team.
Williams.
So I guess if I'm picking, I don't know. I'd probably say Tampa Bay just because
They're hot.
they're the team to
I'd
pick
stick
right
with
now.
Tampa.
yeah,
Yeah,
Both teams are good. It's gonna be a good
It's
game.
gonna be a
I'm
good game.
stoked for that one.
okay.
Other good game.
The other good game. Will Pittsburgh pull the steel curtain closed on the Cowboys season?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
I think that the Cowboys are going to find out. I
We
think
are a
the Cowboys.
disagreeable bunch.
Yeah, we've got a limited amount of time here. The Cowboys are going to find out what a real football team looks like against the Steelers.
Yeah, it's a real football team.
and aren't they? I mean, I love a hardcore Steelers defense. I've been waiting for that for like a
It
few
is
years, you know, where it's just like
dangerous.
It never
tenacious.
gets old watching Steelers win games.
Just,
Even if it's 10-9.
Yeah.
That's the funnest
You
10-9
still
game you'll ever watch.
Every game. Those
what
guys are
about
good.
last week? What did they have? 5 sacks and 5 turnovers?
Yeah.
Ew.
Yeah.
I don't
That's
know.
just
No.
rough.
I don't want to play a single guy on that team. Not even in Madden.
No.
Anyways. Fun
Lions,
thought.
Vikings. We got 1 minute. Lions, Vikings. This is the
How
week,
about
Justin.
Lions
this is
game?
the week.
It's gonna happen.
It's
It is
gonna happen.
to happen. This
And
is the
on that-
one time.
We will fade out, as will the Viking season when they lose
That's
to the
right.
Lions this week.
Go Detroit. It's your
I-
turn.
I-
For Justin Throngard and I already forgot your last name.
Josh.
No, it's the last
Malin,
name.
that's fine.
Malin.
Hey,
There we
big
go.
guy.
Good night.
Thanks. Good work.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
Malin.
Good show. Good show.
Doing.
Have a
I think the Lions